If you're dealing with fatigue, brain fog, mood issues, or unexplainable symptoms, and nothing seems to show up in your regular blood work, then there's a chance that heavy metals might be part of the problem. But how do you actually test for metal toxicity? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 most common ways to do it: blood testing, urine testing, specifically the kind where a chelating agent is used, and hair analysis. Each one tells a different part of the story, and I want to explain which is right for you depending on your circumstances. Okay, let's start with the most basic and most common test, a standard blood test. You can ask your doctor to run tests for metals like lead, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, and aluminum. These tests can usually be done through normal laboratories, but aren't part of your usual screening, so you need to ask for them specifically. Now, here's the thing about blood testing for heavy metals. It only really tells you what's happening right now. So if you were just exposed to something, say mercury from a broken thermometer or lead from contaminated water, then a blood test might catch it. But if that exposure happened weeks, months, or even years ago, it's very likely your blood levels will look completely normal. Why? Because your body is smart. It works hard to keep toxins out of your blood. Once a metal like mercury enters your system, your blood tries to move it out quickly, either by excreting it or by storing it in places like fat tissue, bones, or organs. So if you have metals stored in your body, they won't show up unless they're actively being released back into the bloodstream. Another issue with blood tests, they often miss chronic low-level exposure. For example, someone who's been eating small amounts of contaminated fish for many years may not have enough circulating metal in their blood to be flagged, even though their tissue load could be significant. So while blood tests are a useful tool, especially in acute or very recent poisoning, they're not the best for detecting long-term buildup or stored metals. Next up is something a bit more advanced, the urine challenge test, also called a provoked urine test. This involves taking a chelating agent, usually something like DMSA, DMPS, or EDTA, which is a compound that binds to metals and helps pull them out of your tissues. After taking the chelator, you collect your urine over the next 6 to 24 hours and then send it to the lab for analysis. This test gives you a different picture. Instead of looking at what's floating around in your blood, it shows you what your body can excrete when given a little help. That's the key here. Most people don't eliminate metals effectively on their own. By introducing the chelator, you mobilize metals from tissues and then help flush them out through your urine. But it's not a perfect test either. First off, chelators don't access every part of your body equally. They will obviously grab onto metals in the bloodstream, but also soft tissues and blood vessel linings. But not always from deep storage sites, like your bones, unless you use very high doses. That means even if your test comes back with high levels of a metal, it's only showing what has been mobilized during that short window. And if the levels come back low, that doesn't necessarily mean you're clean. It could just mean that your body isn't releasing much or the chelator didn't work very well for you. Obviously, you also need to take into account the dose of the chelator. Some practitioners use very high doses that aggressively pull metals out, which often makes people feel worse instead of better. This is a general problem with all types of chelation therapy, which urine challenge tests are also a part of. They sometimes force things out too fast and can lead to side effects, which is a problem especially for sensitive people. I talk about this in more detail in my video on heavy metal detox. For this reason, I'm not the biggest fan of urine tests, especially in people with chronic fatigue or a similar condition. I've simply seen too many people that reacted negatively to them. So even though they will probably show you that you have some heavy metal burden, they're just too drastic for my taste. The last test I want to talk about is a hair analysis. Unlike urine, hair shows what your body is excreting on a long-term basis, usually the last 2 to 3 months. Hair grows very slowly, and toxins that the body wants to eliminate often get pushed out through the hair. So instead of a snapshot of today, hair shows you what's been happening over the last few months. Hair is also very non-invasive and doesn't require any injections or chelators. You just cut it, send in the sample, and wait for the results. The lab that I work with tests for aluminum, arsenic, lead, cadmium, mercury, and nickel, and I get my levels tested every few months. Not just because of the heavy metal readings, but because I like to track my mineral status in the hair as well. Now, the problem with hair analysis is that many people don't know how to interpret the results, which leads them to draw the wrong conclusions. This applies especially to what low levels of heavy metals mean on a test. For example, if your hair test shows very low mercury, that doesn't automatically mean that you're free of it. It usually means that your body is not eliminating it effectively. This is known as a poor eliminator pattern and especially applies to people who have symptoms associated with metal toxicity but show normal or low levels. It basically means that the metals are trapped in deeper tissue and unable to get out through the usual detox routes. The good news is that once you start following a well-designed heavy metal detox protocol like the one in the video that I talked about earlier, your body will at some point start dumping these metals. So on a follow-up test, you can often see a rise in a specific metal. That just means that your body finally has found a way to get rid of it, usually because it now has the nutrients and energy to do so. Unfortunately, you aren't really told this kind of stuff when you get the hair analysis and have to learn it from experienced practitioners. To wrap up this video, let me give you my verdict on all these three methods. Blood tests are best for very recent exposure, but they will not show you tissue levels. I already said this. We are usually talking about a few days here because, again, your liver will do its best to remove toxins from the bloodstream as soon as possible. As for urine tests, I personally don't recommend them, but if you want to use them, they're better than blood tests for showing hidden metal burdens in your tissue, but again, they can lead to side effects. And lastly, hair analysis gives you a broader long-term view of what your body has stored or is trying to get rid of. It's what I use and recommend, but again, keep in mind the poor eliminator pattern and what it means. With all that being said, there is one more thing you need to know when getting into this. Even though heavy metal testing can definitely provide some useful insights, it's often less important than many people believe. The reality is that in today's world, heavy metals are everywhere. Air pollution, tap water, food packaging, cookware, cosmetics, and dental fillings. So unless you live completely off the grid, chances are very high that you have some level of heavy metals in your body. So in that sense, testing doesn't always change much because you're almost guaranteed to find something. What's more important is how your body handles that ongoing load. A well-rounded health protocol, so one that supports detox organs like your liver, kidneys, skin, and lymphatic system, will naturally help your body clear these metals out over time, even without chelation or fancy testing. It will also replenish your nutrients and reduce inflammation, which also helps your body get rid of metals even faster. So while testing has its place, heavy metals should always be seen as part of an overall health program that does more than just pull out metals. That's the approach that I teach in my Detox Masterclass, and it works very well because you're not just looking at isolated toxins like heavy metals or plastics or parasites, but also strengthening your overall elimination capabilities that help you deal with all kinds of toxins, no matter what they are. It's just something that I wanted to mention because I see many beginners obsess over this topic without doing anything else. So if you want a more structured approach, check out the description. You will find my approach when you click on the detox program.